All right, let's compare the three most popular agency models, and I'm going to show you why two of them are absolute trash. Now, there's a lot of experts on YouTube telling you that you need to start an SMMA or an AAA. Now, are they right or could they be dead wrong? In this video, I'm going to be breaking down each of the most popular agency models, talking about the pros and cons so that you don't make the worst decision of your life. The third of these agencies is really the one you want to start. Now, I run a PR agency that does $600,000 per month. It's the #1 ranked agency on Clutch, G2, and Upcity. I also have a lead generation agency that does about $70,000 every single month in MMR. I run an SMMA in the past, and I'm an AI implementation expert, so I know this space very, very well. All right, so let's get into it. Let's start with AAA, or AI automation agencies, because they are just so damn hot right now. In fact, you've probably seen this guy Liam on YouTube absolutely crushing it. Everybody is talking about this guy and AI automation agencies, so let's dig into it and figure out if it's worth the hype. So the exciting thing about AAAs is that there's massive demand for it right now. AI technology has exploded over the past year, and there's a lot of companies that have been around for decades with more experienced leadership that just doesn't want to adapt or learn this technology, but now they're starting to figure out that they need it to become more efficient and to keep up with their competitors. Hence, an opportunity for you. Now, as an AI automation agency, you can go into these companies and charge thousands or tens of thousands of dollars to implement AI into their current workflows and processes, introduce new technologies that are going to make these companies more efficient. You can do it pretty quickly and with a low barrier to entry of knowledge. Some examples of these things are implementing Zapier with AI workflows, implementing AI chatbots, and these things can be sold for thousands of dollars. Because it's a relatively new industry and people really aren't certain what these things cost, and the value that they bring is so disproportionate. And what's awesome about this is you can really go in and change a company's entire workflow and processes in like a single day for less than $500 with very limited knowledge. Because you know how these tools work and you can implement them quickly, you can actually make a massive difference in that company in a short period of time. This means that you can charge a lot of money in a short period of time, which is an awesome opportunity for you to think about. But is it all it's hype up to be? Let's find out with some of the downsides of an AAA. So the reason agencies are so amazing in general is because you have monthly recurring revenue, or MRR. This allows you to have a predictable revenue stream every single month. If you have predictable revenue, you can hire more staff, you can rent an office space, you can do a lot more with your money. That's why my PR agency prints money. We bought 2 buildings, we have 62 employees, because we know every month we have at least a certain number of clients that are staying with us, loyal and renewing. Now, the problem with an AAA is this is not really the model. It's not a true agency model. So imagine I call you, you're an AI automation expert as with an AI automation agency, and I say, hey, I need a chatbot. You come in maybe for a week, maybe for a month, and you implement those new AI systems. But once they're in, what do I need you for anymore? So I'm paying you on a project basis or on an hourly basis, but it's not really a retainer basis. You don't have my business guaranteed next month. Once you finish installing all of those AI projects, I don't really need you anymore, and you're gonna have to go and find a new client. In fact, this isn't really an agency at all. This is more like a high-paid consultant, and we're gonna find out exactly how much those consultants are paid. As a consultant, you need to continuously fight for new clients. You don't have those loyal clients that are recurring every single month. Maybe you do if you get creative with these AI services, but the other problem with AI automation agencies is that the technology is expanding so rapidly. 6 months ago, I tried to install an AI chatbot on my website, and it was really complicated. I needed to do custom coding, I needed to watch a bunch of videos to learn it. Now, you can go on AppSumo and buy a chatbot AI tool for $60 one time, put in your website URL and upload some files, and now you have a fully functioning AI chatbot. So the technology is quickly making the agencies obsolete. Also, when you have massive hype around something, for example, Liam Otley, who's built a massive following in like 6 months around this AI automation agencies, you're gonna see a massive influx of people becoming AI automation experts and AI automation agencies, and the market's gonna become saturated very quickly, meaning the price that you're able to charge is going to drop significantly, especially because there's such a low barrier to entry of knowledge and funds to be able to offer these services. Making these chatbots and selling these chatbots so easy. It's not gonna be worth anything 6 months from now. Now, if you're considering AI automation automation agencies, they typically charge between $100 and $500 per hour, or on a project basis, for example, installing an AI chatbot can be anywhere from like $1,000 to $3,000. Again, these are changing dramatically and quickly. Installing an AI chatbot 6 months ago when I looked could have been $5,000, and now it's much less. However, there's a lot of more advanced AI projects where if you expand your knowledge base and learn what these more advanced projects are, such as building custom GPTs and staying on the cutting edge of what AI can do, you'll have the opportunity to charge a lot more money and stay in business a lot longer. All right, enough about AAAs and Liam. Sorry, Liam, you're awesome, crushing it on there. Keep up the great work. Let's talk about SMMAs. And I can't talk about SMMAs without mentioning my friend Jordan Platten. He is the #1 face on YouTube for SMMAs and learning how to get SMMA clients, doing outreach, managing those clients. Keep up the awesome work, Jordan. Now, SMMAs, also social media marketing agencies, are probably the most popular and the most common agency model that you can start, and I'll tell you why. These agencies typically help their clients with virtually everything under the marketing umbrella, but more specifically, paid ads, paid social, designing websites and landing pages, SEO, reputation management. Honestly, the extent depends on the agency. What they're most famous for is running Facebook ads, so let's focus on that. In fact, many of these agencies make the mistake of trying to offer everything at the same time to everyone. This ends up very bad. Warning on that, do not try to offer everything as an SMMA, especially when you're starting. You're going to get burned. Now, there is an exception. If you're VaynerMedia and you have hundreds of employees, you can offer everything because you can afford to hire more experts and you can do everything internally. But for most people, that's not the case. So if you want to start an SMMA, here's how not to do it. Don't do this and you won't give the rest of us agencies a bad reputation. All right, how not to do it. Start an SMMA and start offering everything under the sun to everyone and promising them the stars. Then you're going to want to outsource all of your work to overseas vendors and white label marketing companies like Vendasta. Then while the overseas vendors and the white label companies do all of the work, you're focused on selling, marketing, and dealing with angry clients. Just make sure that you lock these angry clients into unbreakable contracts for at least a year so that they can't get out of it when you end up doing a really bad job. That way you can spend most of your time dealing with disputes, negative reviews, and angry clients who are trying to come after you. That's what you're not going to do. If you're going to start an SMMA, please follow these simple guidelines so that you can do a good job, stay in business longer, and not give the rest of us a bad reputation. You're going to choose a specific marketing service that you're only going to offer for a very specific industry and niche. You're going to be better at this one service than anybody else. I don't care what it is. It could be Facebook ads, YouTube ads, Google ads, SEO. Pick one and stick to it. Then with the specific industry and client avatar that you want to service, try and pick one that you've had a proven track record with before. That way you can copy and paste a lot of the strategies and your knowledge across that industry into your next client and have a much higher chance of success and retaining that client. Now, it sounds easy enough, and it actually is, and it's actually a great place to start for entrepreneurs who are starting their first agency, for the main reason that you get to practice marketing, for example, Facebook ads, with other people's money. Most people suck when they get started, so you can start off charging very low retainers and just working on your marketing skills, but without wasting your own money first. That way, once you get really good, you can start spending your own money on your own ads to acquire more clients. And if you do a really great job, these clients are likely to stick with you for a long time and say awesome things about you and refer you to their friends. And this is what you want in the end. Now, here's the problem with SMMAs. And I've had this experience in my own and when I've hired other ones, because I've worked with probably 10, 20 different SMMAs in my past as well. Now, say you follow all of my guidelines and you're doing Facebook ads for car repair shops and you're working with them for 6 months and you work really hard building out ad campaigns that are working really well. They're converting, people are coming in the door, and there's not much month-to-month changes that you need to make other than maybe monitoring the ad budget, turning it up and down sometimes. The campaigns are pretty steady. The client owns those campaigns, and if you leave, those campaigns aren't going anywhere. Once they've had a similar track record for 3-6 months, the likely end result is they will continue to have that same track record, and there's not much more that you're going to do to make it better. So at that point, most clients will leave around that 3 to 6 month mark if you're doing a good job. If you're not doing a good job, they're gone way sooner. And this is where it can be useful to have multiple services in your repertoire. The more reliant a client is on you for the month-to-month marketing, the longer they're likely to stay. And I said not to offer everything under the sun, and I meant it. But if you can do 3 or 4 services really well that align well with each other, for example, Facebook ads and Google ads, or Google ads and YouTube ads, or Facebook ads and SEO, this can be really useful for keeping a client longer, making them happy, and increasing your monthly recurring revenue. Just remember, if you launch a second service that sucks and you have a first service that's really good, the second second service that sucks is going to make the first service that's good seem way worse, and they're more likely to leave soon. So don't launch a second service if it sucks. And these agencies can print money. On average, these agencies charge around $2,000 per month, but on the higher end, when we're talking about the big marketing conglomerates like VaynerMedia, these can be $1 million contracts. So keep building, and there's a lot of upside with these types of agencies. All right, finally, let's talk about my favorite agency model, the lead generation agency, and I'm going to tell you why. And this is going to blow your mind. Now, the first two agency models that we spoke about, I want you to think as if you were a client of a social media marketing agency and an AI automation agency. The AI automation agency just came in, they built you a chatbot, they built in some custom integrations. It's been 3 months, they were awesome. You don't really need them anymore, so you fire them, and you don't really notice a difference in your business. Your business is just as good as when they were there. Now, think about the SMMA. They've been with you for 6 months, your ad campaigns are working really well, they're doing an awesome job, and you say, okay, I don't really need to pay this $3,000 a month for them to manage my ads anymore. I think I can just keep it running myself. I've learned a lot, they're doing well. You fire them, nothing changes. Now think about that with a lead generation agency. A lead generation agency's job is to book qualified leads for your client on autopilot. So they don't have to worry about marketing, generating leads, filling their pipeline with sales calls anymore. They're reliant on you to do that. Leads are the water of every business, and businesses cannot live without water. If you hired a lead generation agency and they're working with you 6 months and they're scheduling 20, 30 calls on your sales calendar every single month, they're making you money, and you fire them for whatever reason, maybe you had a conflict with their CEO or you had a bad month, that next month, those 30 calls don't exist. You're turning off the faucet to their water. You feel extreme pain at this point. You need that lead generation to keep the water flowing. And this is what you want as an agency owner. You want your client to feel reliant on you, as if when they leave, they will feel pain. This means that you're doing a good job and you're providing enormous value every single month, not just at the beginning, but continuously throughout your relationship together. Therefore, lead generation clients have the highest lifetime value and the most predictable monthly recurring revenue. Because if you can predictably generate leads for a client every single month, that means that you can predictably make money for that client every month and pay for yourself. Now, a lead generation agency differs from a social media marketing agency because they're focused entirely on generating leads. They typically do this through cold email or cold messaging, but there's also other ways they can do it. There's DM agencies, you can do it through running ads, but the main focus is generating leads. And the beautiful thing about this is, especially if you're working in a same industry or niche, you can systematize this really easily. You already know who to target, you already know what copy to use, you know what images to use, and you can copy and paste that with some small variations depending on who your client is, where they are, what they offer. Now, there's a couple different pricing models that lead generation agencies usually use. There's the typical one where you pay a monthly retainer and the lead generation agency does a certain amount of volume for you every month, and they generate a variable number of leads for you every month. But as long as that variable number is positive, you're making more for them than they're paying you, you're in good shape. Those retainers are typically between $2,000 and $5,000 per month, and most lead generation agencies will guarantee a certain number of messages or emails sent for that number. Some of them who are really confident will also give guarantees for qualified leads, and this can be a little bit more risky, especially with newer companies without proven offers, or if you're testing different industries or niches. The other model that's relatively common but a little bit more advanced is the pay per lead model. So paying a set fee per qualified lead that's booked. So you sign an agreement, you say, I'm gonna give you $200 for every qualified lead that you put on my calendar. And I put 50 leads on your calendar in a given month. Now you owe me $10,000 for that month. This can be a little bit risky as well, especially if you're not familiar with that industry and you're not familiar with that offer. The more you know about the industry, the more you know about the offer, and the more you've tested it, the more you can accurately predict what the numbers are actually going to be. Now, unlike AI automation agencies, which are ramping up right now, they're brand new, they're exciting, but the technology's changing so quickly, the service offerings are changing so quickly. Lead generation has been relatively the same for the past decade. Email's not going anywhere, and paid ads really aren't going anywhere, and companies are always going to need leads. All right, so before we leave, let's do a quick recap of the 3 agencies and go over some of the pros and cons, and I'm going to give you some freebies if you're interested in starting a lead generation agency yourself. So if you want the freebie, click the link down in the description. It is a free course and 8 million leads that you can start with so you can learn how to do lead generation. Even if you're not starting a lead generation agency, you need to learn how to do this for yourself. I've got $11,000 worth of marketing materials absolutely free down in the link. Go grab it. All right, now let's talk talk about the recap of those three types of agencies, the pros and cons. AI automation agencies, the pros. They're in high demand, so it's going to be easy to find clients. And there's a lot of really easy ways, a lot of really simple technologies that you can implement fast and cheap into companies that's going to make them more efficient, save them money, and make them very happy in the short term. This means a very low barrier to entry for you. So if you're new and you're starting out and you know a lot about AI and you want to start selling something right now, AI automation agency might be the right thing for you. You really don't need to know very much. You don't need to pay very much, and it's going to be pretty easy to close new clients. Now, the cons of AI automation agencies, it's quickly becoming saturated. The technology is changing so fast, so the service and offer that you have right now might not even apply in 3 months. So you have to adapt quickly and make sure that you don't get run out of business by all of the new competition and all of the new technologies. Most important con, clients don't really feel pain when they fire you. You want clients to feel pain and to miss you when you're gone. All right, let's talk about SMMAs again, the pros of starting an SMMA. Low barrier to entry, a really great thing for beginners to start, get their feet in the water with marketing, get better at advertising while using somebody else's money. Most companies need a social media marketing agency in one way or another and at one point or another. That means there's a lot of companies to choose from, and you can charge pretty low rates to start off, and it's pretty easy to land clients, especially if you're on the cheaper end. And if you get really good at a specific marketing service in a specific niche, you will be the go-to, you'll get a ton of referrals, and you'll get a lot of monthly recurring revenue. And finally, a recap on lead generation agencies, the pros. High, predictable monthly revenue. Very hard for a client to leave if you're doing a good job. They will feel immense pain if they leave, so they're likely to stick with you forever. It does not require heavy manpower. You can run a massive operation with less than 10 people. Lastly, it's very easy to get positive and predictable results for your clients, especially if you stick to a specific niche. Now, the cons for a lead generation agency or an LGA is that it is a higher barrier to entry. Your knowledge base needs to be much more advanced if you're going to be very good at lead generation. It can also be really tough with new companies who have a less proven offer and don't have a strong sales cycle and a sales team, because even if you generate 100 leads for a new company with a new offer and they don't have a good sales team and they're not executing, their back end's going to fall apart and they're not going to be able to afford you. So a lot of new companies will hire lead generation agencies with hopes that they're going to make them a fortune, but if they don't have their back ends dialed in, their sales, their offer, their execution, eventually it's going to fizzle out and nothing in the world that you do could save them. All right, let me know in the comments what agency model you are going to start. Ask me anything about lead generation agencies. Go grab my course if you want to learn more about generating leads, and make sure that you like this video and subscribe. That way YouTube feeds you more videos like this that's going to help you make more money, get better at business, and become a better human. See you in the next video. LGJ out.